Welcome to another Permagrow video. I noticed this tomatoes that I'm growing here are starting to look a little bit yellow in the leaves, and they need some nutrition. It's doing pretty well. I planted some green onions in here. When I go to the store, if I buy green onions, I just cut them and stick them in the dirt, and then I always have green onions. And I planted a couple other seeds. I can't remember what in here, but I'm going to go ahead and top dress this, add a little fertilizer, and I'm also going to interplant some radishes in there. So first I'm going to put some of my top dressing, which is my homemade compost and recycled soil mix, with some other different fertilizer amendments that I'll put in the description. But I'm going to spread some of that on the top and then stir it in. If you're not familiar with Permagrow, I'm trying to promote lifetime growing systems that do 100% nutrient cycling. I make all my own compost. I plant only in stainless steel pans. Everything is open architecture. I use the standard restaurant pans that come in different sizes. This is called a quarter size pan, and it's about 6 inches deep. And I put a false bottom and a coconut coir pad and fill it with my potting mix, and it's a wonderful, sustainable way to grow. I think there's very few people out there right now that are doing indoor growing in anything other than plastic. And I think growing in plastic is not only really bad for the environment, but it's also really bad for human health. If you just do a quick search on what leaches out of plastic, you'll find that it's not stuff that you want going into your body. And there's so many people doing indoor growing with these injection molded plastic systems that will leach out plasticizers and PFAS and BPA and all kinds of nasty stuff that I don't want in my body. And one of the good things about the way I garden with Permagrow is if I don't want it in my food, I don't put it in the soil. And the downside of that is if I don't put it in the soil, it's not available to the plant either. So it's a little bit tricky to build soil health and get all the biology in there that you want. But once you do build healthy living soil, mycorrhizae and beneficial bacteria and homemade compost, then you know exactly what's going into your food. So that's kind of the way I want to garden. This is a few different types of radish seeds from Johnny's. I'm just going to poke those in and then mark them with a toothpick. I love interplanting different stuff. I'll, plant carrots in these planters, and every once in a while you just kind of pull out a special treat. But radishes do really well in these planters. I only plant dwarf varieties of carrots, but they do really well as well. And I have really good luck with tomatoes and salad greens. I do a lot of microgreens. These other last two on this side. But anybody can do this. It takes a little knowledge to get started and a little bit of investment, but these planters will last a lifetime. I've been growing in the same planters since 2014, and I'm still using those same pans. I'm actually fertilizing this with and watering it in with a little bit of this Fox Farm Grow Big. I thought I'd give it a try to see if it would help with my production. The pans are small, so when you're planting plants that are heavy feeders, then you do have to augment the nutrition quite a bit. But I've had extremely good success with these planters. It's really wonderful to grow your own food. I just reach down and pop out a tomato. I grow mostly dwarf varieties of tomatoes as well, cherry tomatoes. I grow a tomato called Dwarf Serendipity, which is really fun. Anyway, that one is interplanted with radishes and fertilized and ready to go back in the planter.